Hello and welcome to the second round of the Arrow Racing League season. Now this week we've got Canada. We had the American Grand Prix last week. As you can see, the conditions for this qualifying session are absolutely appalling. It's the first wet weather session of the season, but yeah, we went out on intermediate tyres, no grip, so we came back out on full wet tyres, and there was just enough grip to put in a good enough lap to get through quali. But I ended up going for the full wet setup because I just looked outside the paddock and the weather was just absolutely horrible. I think it was something like 80% chance of rain for quali and a 40% chance of rain in the actual race. But I went for the wet setup that Codemasters offers. It's not too good in my opinion. It's not got very good straight line speed. It's still quite unstable, so I'd recommend actually making your own setup if you can. But for beginners, I think they'll be alright, these setups. But yeah, this qualifying session was very tricky. I had my teammate in front of me, so I was getting a bit of dirty air from this point. But I think he lets me through here because he makes a mistake and he knows that he won't actually set a very fast time. Yeah, but the race was very interesting. There was quite a few crashes due to the wet weather, and it was quite a dynamic race. It started off dry, went to wet, and then dried gradually. But I'm half a second up on Zero, who's current pole sitter. He doesn't actually get pole in the end, and I don't improve very much here as I go past, I think it's Honks or Talisman, I'm not sure. Going through the final chicane here, I'm sure I cut that. Definitely looked like I put four wheels over, and we're going across the line now. What's the time going to be? I'm in P6. So here we go, the Canadian Grand Prix. We've got Fab behind us, Hezron in front of us. I'm just checking who else is behind us. Glenn's right behind us as well. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're going straight to the rear bias to minimize locking up. Going to Rich Mixture as well to increase the speed that I can get. And we're going up the inside of Ryder now, but he'll have the inside for the next corner. I'll leave him space. And there's a little bit of contact there, but not too much. He's on the inside now and Hezron's on the outside. I think Hezron backed out and I went around the outside of Ryder on the switchback. So it's been a good start. I've gained 2 positions already, locking up there. And I've got Carpet right in front of me, and Ryder's looking very fast. I think he's gonna mount an attack up the inside. And he's got past. That's an easy move for him. Went a little too deep into that corner. Allowed him to catch right up. Looked like he's actually got around Carpet. No, he hasn't. And I've regained the position back from him. So quite a little battle between me and Ryder. Now we've got to hunt down Carpet. Hopefully gain on him, but this setup isn't very good in terms of straight line speed. Going through the chicane, and Carpet goes wide, Cab goes wide as well. They're both slowing, and Ryder's coming up the inside once again. 3 wide going to the first corner, and I back out just to avoid an incident. A little bit contact with Cab and his left rear wheel. But Carpet lost out, I think, 2 positions to us there just by going wide at the chicane. We're still bunched up though. There's a big train of cars here. It's not quite DRS yet. It'll be next lap. Carpet is looking very eager to overtake me. I think he will be able to, but I went wide there. I think he went wide as well actually, because he didn't overtake me. Unless he thought he actually hit me, so he gave me the space, but was His run goes very wide into that corner. I think he missed his braking point quite a lot. I think there was an incident behind that resulted in a penalty to someone, I'm not sure yet, but you see Carpet's straight line speed is much greater than mine, and his run's almost better as well, but Carpet gets it wrong again. I'm right up in his gearbox now. It's the second time in 2 laps that he's missed that chicane.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
It's just the engineer saying that I've got DRS now.
You're on the slower tyre, but you're maintaining the gap to the car.
Zero's still leading.
This is good.
He didn't actually get pole. I think Talisman got pole using a very good setup, but I'm not sure if the setup actually worked for the race, because he lost out in the first position. Carpet goes straight into the wall there, bounces off. P7 though. I thought I was going to be doing worse because of the setup. I did have a very good dry setup, but of course I'm not using it for this race. We do extensive testing though of all the setups. Fab and I race quite a lot. Got DRS now. Let's see if we can gain any time. I'm not sure if we'll be able to. Oh, very aggressive use of the curb there, going right over. Car almost went sideways there. I should be able to gain on Carpet here because he's battling with Cab. Zero's still in the lead. So we should have DRS on Carpet this lap. We're right up behind him now. But he'll have DRS on Cab in front. So we probably won't gain on the car in front. I'm getting bad oversteer that corner though, that's not good. Half second down, or half second up anyway. The Cab, oh yep, Cab's already lost the place to Carpet in the hairpin before, even before the DRS. So he's going to lose out big time. I've got DRS, doesn't really matter though, I won't really gain on the car in front. Looks like Cab's actually retaking the place as I take the chicane very fast. This battle's still going on. Must be a 3-lap battle though. My tyres aren't going off, but I'm still getting oversteer, which is weird. I think it must be the setup. In hindsight, I think I should have gone with the dry setup that I previously had. But too late to change that now. Carpet goes right over the grass, made a mistake there. And we should, yep, we'll have DRS once again. I think Talisman's dropped back from 0 quite a lot, lost a few positions. He must be in 4th now. I think he might have actually pitted. But we skip on to lap 18, and as you can see, the rain is starting to bucket it down. I've got Scorch behind me. He's on, I think he's on a set of intermediate tyres, but this part of the track's not quite ready for inters yet. But I'm going to go into the pits for intermediate tyres this lap because the conditions are just getting too bad. You can see there 1.3 seconds I've already lost in this lap, and it's not even got to the second sector yet. Oh, the end of the second sector yet. Still drivable, but I'm losing too much time to the cars behind him in 5th, and I don't really want to stay in this position.
Current reports are suggesting an improvement in the weather. Light rain.
The engineer is saying that the conditions will improve, which is pretty good. Scorch doesn't have DRS though because he's on wet tyres, but I'm going to try and defend for some reason. No, he's on inters. You can just see the difference in pace there between the Red Bull and Ferrari. So going into the pits now. Hopefully I should get below 3.5 seconds for a pit stop. Yep, 2.9, that's pretty good. Not quite up to F1 2013 standards, but good enough anyway. And it looks like a few more people are actually coming to the pits, and I think there's actually a car next to the wall here. Yes. Yep, Glenn's in the wall. Must have spun. Not a good race for him then. Started quite far back on the grid. Yeah, he's retired there. Might have damaged his gearbox, hitting the wall. He probably stayed out on the slick tyres for too long. Lost too much time and then span, trying to turn the corner. But we go on to lap 19 and the conditions are still getting worse as time goes on. Even though the engineer said they'd improved, but they're actually getting worse. And it's almost time for full wet tyres actually. I'm not sure if I'll go in this lap, but I think I'll go in the probably next few laps. Not quite enough water vapour coming from those tyres. If you look at the front tyres, that's a good way of telling what conditions they are. Not quite enough vapour coming from those yet for full wets, but we'll look and see in the next few laps if we can change tyres. So we go on to lap 21. The conditions are visibly worse. I think this is actually time for wet tyres. And I go into the wall, so it's time for wet tyres. Lost the back end there, and I lost 3 positions, and it looks like Fab almost went into the wall as well, but I think he managed to recover. You can see the vapour from the tyres now, much higher than 3 laps before, or 2 laps before. Not got any front wing anymore, so I'm just going to avoid hitting that wall. I lose position to Scorch anyway. That's not going well this race. P8. Started in P8. But I think a few drivers will actually be changing tyres this lap. We do have enough laps to actually gain on drivers though. We've got 14 laps. So we're only just past the halfway point of the race. Hopefully this is a fast pit stop. No, it's not. I think that's because of the front wing change though. Going to standard mix just to gain some time. And it looks like there's a car out here that's made a mistake. Wonder who that is. Yeah, it's Honks. I think he's on inters. I think he hit his front wing off something as it closed very, very fast up to him. I think he went wide there. I don't think that was a lag bubble. Lag bubbles usually occur in sudden movements, but I think he just went wide because he doesn't have a front wing and he's on the wrong tyres. I definitely feel the increased grip levels on these tyres. There's a big train of cars in front. Hopefully I should be able to catch up with those cars in the next few laps.
You have a 4-second gap to the car behind. 4 seconds.
So we're still on lap 22. Conditions are pretty bad still, but there's a few there's a few cars in the pits. I think it's Fab and I'm not sure what the second car is, but this is going to be pretty close between us. They of course get to miss that corner that I'm going through just now. Go straight on past the corner, and yep, it's Fab coming out right behind him. So it should be close now between us. We're on roughly the same setup, so I'm not sure if he chose the default wet setup. but we should have similar setups. Hit my front wing off that barrier there, turned in too quickly. Just going down to standard mix, want to save some fuel for the end of the race. But the next race is Brazil. It's probably one of my favourite tracks, just like the corners. It's quite a short track actually. The average for a lap is 1 minute 15. About the same as Monaco actually. It seems that Fab's actually pulling away from us because he's on newer tyres. I think he made a mistake there because we gained time on him. But still over a second behind and in P8, which isn't too good. Hopefully the track conditions should actually get better. These conditions are absolutely appalling. It's hard to see the car in front apart from the little red light going on. I'm just sliding all over the place in that corner. I'm 1.1 seconds quicker though than my best lap, so clearly these tyres still have some grip in them. But I could pit just now. Hezron is 21 seconds behind. It's on average 20 seconds per pit stop. But I'm not going to because I'm sure the conditions will change in a few minutes to intermediate conditions. So it'd be a bit of a waste of a pit stop going for inters now to only crash a few laps later. But I'm getting very close to the world champions there, almost crashed into it. As we go on to lap 25. So lap 26, as you can see from the text on screen, safety car. So almost lose the back end, going to the barrier there. I was thinking about pitting here, but I decided not to because these conditions are apparently supposed to improve. So I thought it'd be a bit of a waste going on to inters because I don't think these conditions are quite yet ready for intermediate tyres. A few drivers do actually change over, which was brave of them. It was quite a bad decision during the race because these laps are, I think, 8 laps old. So they are used tyres. But yeah, this safety car has mixed up the race a bit. It's allowed the people behind the leader, I think Zero's leading, no Talisman's leading, but race restart now. Probably will be restarting in a minute, but I think Ryder's pulled out from the pits. I didn't actually quite see what tyres he was on there. Hezron's actually pulled in front of him. I've managed to put myself into 4th position though, which is quite good. But still safety car, and as you can see the conditions are actually quite a lot better. And I'm still on the wet tyres with 5 laps to go, and a few people have actually changed to the intermediate tyres, and Fab's closing right up on me. Almost hit my back end there. Lock up, goes straight over the chicane, lose a whole load of time, and Cab goes right through. This is 2 Ferrari drivers losing position to the Lotus driver of Cab. As you can see, my DRS is broken, but I don't think that will have any effect on the race since I won't be using dry tyres. these conditions are improving very, very quickly. You will see a whole load of drivers whiz past on the intermediate tyre. These conditions are still drivable, but a dry line is starting to appear. And I think we agreed before the race that team orders shouldn't really come into what should happen in the race between Fab and I. But during the race we just ignored those, as drivers should do. I think team orders were not to battle in order to not crash each other out. But I'm not sure why I didn't actually pit here. I think it's because it was so close to the end of the race that just felt there was no need to pit for inters. As Fab's coming right up here, I think he's used some curves. These conditions are definitely right for intermediate tyres, and there's a weird glitch on my screen where it keeps on saying that the safety car's out when it isn't. It clearly isn't. If the safety car was out, then there would be a black dot on the mini-map, but there isn't. Lap 32 then. 3 laps left, and I was actually thinking of changing to intermediate tyres here, but decided not to. I was actually going to do that on one of the last laps. Sky's actually becoming blue in the race. Clouds are parting. These conditions are starting to become undrivable. So we go into the final laps, lap 32, and as you can see, riders gained right up on us, and I think he goes past here, and I cut the track. So go off anyway, get a warning for corner cutting. There's just so much wheel spin now that hardly any grip on the track. As you can see, that drivers on intermediate tyres, they're just so much faster than Fab and I on the wet tyres. 1.1 seconds down on my best time, which isn't good. So I'm definitely going in for intermediate tyres with 2 laps to go. Can hardly drive it now. Alright, all it's doing is aquaplaning as Fab goes into the wall. I go into the wall as well. Don't think I've lost my front wing, but I think the end plates are just gone. But Fab stays out. I go into the pits with 1 lap to go. Bit of a risky decision, but pays off. You'll just see the speed difference between Fab and I. It's absolutely huge, just because of the tyre choice.
Go.
5.4 seconds. It's no right pit stop. Did have to change my front wing though, but I've lost the position to Honks as well.
You're free to rejoin the track. The track is
But I am on much newer tyres. 1 lap left to go. Bit of a suicide mission as I completely crossed the white line. I think you should actually get a penalty for that, but I didn't.
Fuel is looking okay, but we'll keep an eye on it.
But the increased grip levels in these tyres are already starting to have an effect. 3.4 seconds up, even though I've had a pit stop. And you'll see 2 dots in front on the minimap. First dot's Honks and the second dot's Fab. I'm trying to close up on Fab to try and get more points than him. I'm in P9, so that would be 2 points I think in the championship. I'm not sure why he didn't actually pit for inters though. I think he was just trying to stay out. I think he wanted to avoid another pit stop. We're closing right up on the next two drivers as we go into the last lap. Complete suicide lap by me. As you can see, Fab and Honks are battling, and that's going to lose them time. Fab's right in front, being overtaken by Honks. I think Honks is actually on intermediate tires, but they're quite old. I'm going up now, going to make a move on Fab, and I hit him. I think that was lag, but I'm not sure. But I just drive on anyway because I don't think it was lag. I think he was just braking far too early because he was on the wet tires and I didn't anticipate that. I'm trying to gain on Honks though. I don't think I've actually got enough track to do that because it's the last lap and it's the last straight. But Fab's right behind me, so I should get 3 points from this race, which is good. Going through the final chicane right now, and you finish in 8th place. I was hoping to gain more time and actually finish in front of Honks, but didn't actually happen. Just not enough time. Standings there, 0 wins, with Carpet taking 2nd place in the podium. Cab in the Lotus gets 3rd. Talisman, even after he gets pole, finishes in 4th. Ryder 5th. Hezrun 6th. Honks 7th. Me in 8th. Fab 9th. Scorch 10th. Glenn 11th. And Andre in 12th, not finishing. But I did actually get a penalty from hitting Fab on the last lap, so I was demoted to 9th place and he was promoted to 8th place, which I think just had 1 point difference in terms of standings. But you can see the championship standings so far. Carpet's in 1st, Zero's in 2nd with 40 points, 3 points difference between them. And my teammate's in 3rd place with 21 points, so he's 19 points behind Zero, and I'm sitting in 7th with 12 points. So next race, Brazil. Hopefully it should be good, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.